The Outback has always been an odd vehicle, straddling the line between wagon and crossover, while still having off-road abilities that rivals didn't bother with. Well, odd must be good because its sales have been going up, and now it even has new competition from Buick, Volkswagen, and Volvo. Like always, this review is going to cover the entire Outback range, from the base model to the loaded up 3.6R like this is. 2018 brings a host of changes to the Outback, so let's go ahead and see if it's still ahead of the curve. We are happy to tell you that we have now partnered with Quantrill Subaru, located in Lexington, Kentucky, so we'll now be bringing you Subaru reviews. If you'd like to find out more information about their dealership and massive inventory of new Subarus, then click the link to their website provided in the video description. Before we start, I want to point out that the 3.6R V6 engine can only be had on the top two trims. For the most part, that doesn't change the equipment, but I will point out the places where it does. The top two trims get this Subaru Smart Entry key fob. It has a nice design with some metallic finishes on the side, but the lower trims will have to use a traditional key instead. There are plenty of changes to look at inside and out, so we'll start under the hood. The mechanical bits of the refreshed Outback carry over mostly unchanged. Under the hood you'll find one of two engines, either this 3.6-liter flat 6, or a 2.5-liter flat 4. Our 6-cylinder produces 256 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque, compared to 175 horsepower and 174 pound-feet of torque in the 4-cylinder. No matter which one you choose, the transmission is a CVT, though it has new programming for 2018 that allows for manual shifting. Subaru's famous symmetrical all-wheel drive is also included across every trim. The fuel economy is also surprisingly good considering that this is relatively big. The 4-cylinder achieves 25 city, 32 highway, 28 combined, which falls to 20 city, 27 highway, 22 combined when you opt for the 3.6R. That's pretty much it for the powertrain, so let's get on to the exterior changes. At initial glance, you'd be hard-pressed to figure out the 2018 changes. But if you look a little closer, a lot of things have been freshened up. That starts with the grille, which has the same shape, but is a little more smoothed out around the edges. The inside also has a different treatment, now with a single chrome bar instead of being fully silver. Overall, it just brings it more in line with the newest Subarus. These steering responsive LED headlights are new this year to the upper trims. The lower trims will still have halogens, but they retain these fancier LED daytime running lights. And you'll also find fogs on all but the very base model. The Outback obviously has a more rugged persona, and that's backed up by 8.7 inches of ground clearance. By the way, these lower moldings are also new this year. Of course, no refresh would be complete without new wheel designs. On this limited trim, they are 18 inches with a higher contrast design than last year's. But the top-end touring trim carries over its 18-inch dark gray alloy wheels. The remaining base and premium models share 17-inch alloys. The brakes are 12.4-inch and 11.8-inch ventilated discs in the front and the rear respectively. And naturally, the tires are all seasons. Coming up to the mirrors, they are body colored on all but the base trim. Ours are auto dimming with the Subaru projection, and blind spot detection is on the back side of the mirror. Walking back to the side view, you can definitely see how the Outback straddles segments. The length is 190 inches, which is in the ballpark of the Toyota Highlander. But of course the body isn't nearly as tall. Subaru actually calls this a sport utility wagon. Safety also sees an upgrade for 2018, with some new eyesight technologies. In addition to pre-collision braking, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, and adaptive cruise control, 2018 also now adds auto high beam headlights. And while the 2018 model hasn't specifically been safety tested, its top safety pick plus rating is expected to carry over. Every Outback comes with an 18.5 gallon fuel tank. That's good for 518 miles of range from the 4-cylinder, and 407 from the 6-cylinder. Both use regular unleaded fuel. Heading around to the rear, the changes are less substantial. The biggest change by far are the more rugged looking bumpers. The taillights have also been very slightly revised, to kind of emphasize the same bracket shape like the headlights do. Below the beefed up bumper, you have dual exhaust on the 3.6R models. But for towing, it doesn't make any difference which engine you choose, because both are rated for 2,700 pounds. Subaru does include these giant roof rails with retractable crossbars on every trim, to help support that active lifestyle image. Anyways, that does it for the outside, so let's move to the updates in the interior. Just like the outside, the interior has received subtle upgrades all around. For one thing, there is an extra interior color available, called titanium gray. And that's in addition to the slate black and warm ivory that were already available. Touring models only get a Java brown leather interior. Base and premium models have cloth, the others have leather. Coming to the door trim, it's also made of really nice materials. The armrest is padded leather, and above it as well, with a new stitching pattern for 2018. The trim has also been made to look more realistic, and the top portion is soft touch plastic. 2-person memory seats are included for the limited and touring trims. For the windows, only the front two are automatic up and down. Every Outback besides the base model will get this 10-way power adjusting driver's seat with power lumbar. A 6-way manual seat is what's standard. The leather is nice quality, and it feels softer than what you'll find in some rival brands. Unlike on the outside, you might actually be able to notice the changes in here, a lot of which are nicer materials and finishes. The entire dash is made of high-quality soft-touch plastic, but the change for 2018 is that you now have this stitching detail that comes all the way through here. Everything else feels solid and fits together well. Push-button start comes on Limited and Touring. This screen is also an upgrade, now 8 inches, with the newest software on it. The base screen is also moved from 6.2 to 6.5 inches this year. These are the gauges you'll find on all but the base model. There is a large LCD in the middle, and it contains all of the stuff that one expects to find there. The steering is electric power, controlled with this new steering wheel. The main difference from the old one is that these buttons are now metallic black. The ones on the other side are for the dynamic cruise control and the lane keep assist. The wheel itself does manually tilt and telescope. As far as storage up front, the Outback keeps up with midsize SUVs. This center bin is very deep, and this tray is removable. Underneath it is a lot of space, all nicely felt lined. Up front is another bin, and it's got all of your connections. Coming to the shifter, it's a little bit different. You can now press over to the left to activate manual shifting through 7 simulated gears. These paddle shifters are also standard on all trims. When you go into reverse, you'll also find that the rear view camera now has trajectory. The quality is pretty good as well. Behind the shifter you have an electronic parking brake, and also an X mode and hill descent controls. X mode works by optimizing the engine, transmission, and all-wheel drive system for the rugged terrain. The refinements continue at the climate controls. They are still dual zone automatic on all but the base model, but the temperatures now appear inside of the knobs. The other buttons are laid out a little differently, and they're now black instead of silver. Overall, a refreshingly simple setup. These 3-stage heated seats are actually included on all but the base trim, so that's nice. Limited and Tourings get this 12-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. Sound quality is pretty good. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the updated StarLink system. Like I said, this is the new 8-inch screen, and there are shortcut buttons that go along the edge of it. This is the home screen, which is where all of the apps live. Starting with media, you can play, pause, and skip songs straight from the standard Bluetooth. On the left side, you have all your other sources. In phone, you have lots of stuff, including a phone book. This includes all your contacts synced over automatically from your phone. Integrated navigation is optional on this Limited and standard on the Touring. This is the new TomTom-based setup, and it's a lot more responsive than the old version. In apps, you have several different things, but what's important here is that Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are now on board. That's all we're going to look at here, but we have a dedicated tutorial of StarLink in a separate video. A link to that is provided in the description. This auto-dimming mirror has home link and a compass. Limiteds and Tourings also get a standard moonroof. Interestingly, this is the standard sized one, even though the Forester has a panoramic one. I guess that has to do with the crossbars. Up until today, I had never been in an Outback, and the rugged exterior made me think that the cabin would be pretty down market. But it turns out that the interior is actually pretty luxurious, while still also being highly functional. Overall, a very nice place to spend time. Now Mason will take over and demo the rest.
The door trim in the back is just as nice as the front. I love how the armrest is padded generously, and the new stitching up here. The windows are power, but they're not automatic. There's also some storage down here, good for a water bottle. The back of the Outback boasts 38.1 inches of legroom and 38.9 inches of headroom. That's a tad less than Subaru's own Forester, but it is more than the Volkswagen Alltrack. The seats are just like any other Subaru, comfortable and supportive. Our Outback has these nice vents in the rear, and below them you'll find 2 stage heated rear seats. And finally, you'll also get 2 USB ports on all but the base trim. The armrest is nice and big, and it has 2 cup holders inside it. Up top you have some lighting, a good headliner, and an assist grip. Legroom is abundant behind my brother's 5'8" seating position, and there's room for my feet. Sliding over, this is what it's like with the seat scooted all the way back. So overall, I'm thoroughly impressed with the Outback's rear seat. It's spacious, comfortable, and even has some features I didn't expect, like the heated rear seats. Now to fold the seat backs, just use this button on the side. They do fold flat and 60-40 split. power tailgate is standard on the limited and touring trims, and you can just use the fob to open it. That gives you a surprisingly big amount of space, 35.5 cubic feet with the seats in place, and 73.3 cubic feet with them folded to be exact. I imagine that's plenty enough for most owners, and it does beat the Volkswagen Alltrack once again. This removable cargo cover is standard on all but the base trim. And looking over, you have a pop-out coat hook, and a handle to fold the seats from back here. The passenger seat is 4-way power on the top 2 trims, and manual on the others. The dash is a nice graining with stitching, and the trim looks pretty good. The glove box is dampened and nicely felt lined. Well guys, we hope you enjoyed the first in-depth review on the refreshed 2018 Subaru Outback. Stay watching for a quick look at the pricing information of this particular Outback, as well as the rest of the lineup. Please like and subscribe, and come along with us next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.